fucking nuts. What would you guys do?
What would we do?
Yeah.
It's like they can outrun you.
Yeah.
And they can drive over.
Somebody from Brimfield.
I don't know what Cleveland's gonna do. Those times when they're shut
There
down.
was somebody that was really complaining.
I mean, there's
I've seen a lot of those ATVs lately in Akron too. They're zipping around like on Market and stuff.
I believe it, but we can't catch them.
Right.
Crazy. I mean, they took over the roads there in Cleveland, blocked an entrance ramp.
What's gonna happen is you're gonna have some guy with a big monster truck that's gonna say, I had enough, and run somebody over, and then become a war.
You know,
Right.
they need to invent something like some big net, or shoot it over the bunch of them.
There was something.
Thanks, Sue, you know?
Oh, that's done. I don't know. Bring up about.
We are live with camera and mics.
We're live.
Wasn't it this?
Well, this one I have something like that.
We got 1 more minute before we start. He has to turn everything on first to get it up.
Sorry, Nick. I wrote it down.
Got to scrap the whole bid book, start from scratch.
Oh no, are you running for election? Okay.
Don't give Gail a hard time, that's my buddy.
That's the only time we see politicians. That's what they all say.
All right, it is 8 o'clock, so I would like to officially call the Brimfield Township Board of Trustees meeting to order. Roll call for attendance, please.
All those in attendance, Mike? Yes. Nick?
Yes.
Sue is absent. Does anybody know?
I haven't heard.
Okay, well, we do have a quorum, so.
All right, then I would like to move into our Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody could please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, it sounds much better. And then I'll ask,
Hello.
and then Father, if you could, Pastor, lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we again are so grateful for all that you continue to do to bless our township and our leadership and giving them the wisdom and discretion they need. We thank you, Lord, for a little opportunity for some growth in different departments. We pray that they would continue to grow together as a team and work in harmony for the best of Brimfield Township. And now today, Lord, we ask for your wisdom and discretion in this meeting. We ask that all things are done in a decent and orderly fashion. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
That's great, you put those on.
Yeah, as you notice, the sound is a little better in here, I think. How does it sound out in the audience? Is it better? We put up all new sound panels, so.
You know, the only thing you really need is to bring some down, because
Yeah,
sound goes straight and not up.
so yeah, he said he's still working on it, but wanted to start with these to see where we're at. So, no, I think it sounds much better. Announcements and correspondences. Mike, anything?
Well, we got correspondence yesterday, but I'm gonna follow up with all today.
Okay.
No, I haven't really had much, other than a few questions about the police department.
Okay.
But nothing bad.
John, any announcements or correspondences?
I do not, but thanks for asking.
All right. Anything else from department heads? I do like to sometimes be able to recognize positive things that happen. So this was actually on Facebook, but I shared it with Craig, so it got back to the fire department. Beth Buckland from Brimfield Township stated, I'd like to publicly thank the Brimfield EMS and Portage UH doctors and nurses for helping my husband this past Wednesday morning. My husband had a heart attack at around 2:30 a.m. I called 911 and Brimfield EMS responded immediately, where they took him to Portage UH. His cardiologist then came in right away. When my husband's heart stopped, the ER doctor helped him restart it 2 times. The cardiologist said if he, the doctor, didn't act as swiftly as and was as knowledgeable as he was, we might have lost him. I wish I knew his name. So everyone from Dispatch 911 to all the medical professionals, including Life Flight, I and our children thank you for saving my husband's life. You are all a gift from God. As for my husband, he is off life support and recovering beautifully. So it's nice to hear the positive comments sometimes, especially for our FD. So just thought we would share that this morning. We will now move into our meeting guests. Today we have State Representative Gail Pavliga out of the 75th. Welcome. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you so much. Is it okay if I just sit here since I can talk to everybody?
Yeah. We're very informal. So.
Okay, good. Well, I don't want to make it, I'm just disrespectful of,
No, you're not.
It's just nice to be able to
Just glad you're here.
Discussion. Well, it's very nice to be here. Last time I was here was candidate Yale League on November 3rd. I was very pleased to be elected to the 75th district as the next state representative. And since then, I've been off and running, and what I wanted to do is just give you, without boring everyone, just a brief legislative update, you know, some of the things that we are working on here in the community, both in Columbus. One of the first things I heard so often, and we've heard in this district so often, is what are we gonna do about e-check? Okay, because Portage County is one of 7 Northeast Ohio counties that is still affected by e-check. The research and the work that I've done is, I want to assure you that this is not a good program for Northeast Ohio, because the real culprit is going to be the emissions. And when we did this House resolution with State Representative Bell and I, we worked to talk to a lot of people. The only people that came out against us on this, of course, was going to be the Chamber of Commerce, because then they said the businesses will have to upgrade and get rid of the real issue, which is going to be industrial emissions. And so we are working very hard. That is now in Congress to amend the Federal Clean Air Act, and hopefully I'm going to work that all the way through Congress, and we will finally get Northeast Ohio through this, this unfair e-check. Trust me, I drive into Columbus each week, and I think that they don't have e-check down there, and their air is so much cleaner than what we have here in Brookfield would not be the case. Okay. So I just want you to know that we are working on that. A promise I have made would be to work on the opioid addiction, and it is just rampant here, and we have one of the highest suicide rates and overdose states in the country. So a bill that I just got voted on House 94 to nothing was that all prescribing was going to be e-prescribed, meaning that one of the ways that people access illegal drugs, which are Schedule II drugs, legal drugs illegally, is going to be through fraudulent scripts, okay? I've worked with a number of people in the area and experts, and if we can get those paper prescriptions pretty much off of the streets, we can cut down on a lot of that access. So that is going to be a good bill. Again, not to go after a multi-pronged effort to cut down on opioid addiction, but this is going to be a step in a positive direction. I'm working with Judge Smith. When I wrote a budget amendment for the court-appointed special advocacy program. Anybody ever heard of CASA? CASA is a very good program for people who are in the foster care system. Okay? The CASA volunteers go along with that child and work with them the entire time that they are in the foster care system. Okay? Portage County does not have a chapter. So I was able to write a budget amendment and work with CASA to get a fully funded CASA program here in Portage County, which will serve along with Judge Smith's support over 300 students and children here in Portage County. And also along with that, a bill to protect those who serve as guardians ad litem, as well as CASA volunteers, because sometimes when they don't like the opinions rendered to the judges about their thoughts about what's in the best interest of that child, there have been many court cases where people have brought harassment charges because guardians ad litem are harassed, as well as CASA workers. So I also, a bill along with that, goes along with that, is protection and making a first-degree misdemeanor if those people are found guilty of harassing a CASA advocate, which I think will make people want to go into our, those type of programs to work with children even more. The last one that I will get to, even though I have 8, just one special one. Since 2007, up in Edinburgh, Corporal Ben Dillon's family has been waiting for that fallen hero to get his recognition for his ultimate sacrifice. So Corporal Ben Dillon, part of the highway on 76, is just waiting one more hearing in the Senate, and finally we will have that through. That we will have Corporal Ben Dillon Highway in Edinburgh and bring a lot of peace and for that family and also for this community that sacrificed him back in 2007. I work very closely with the family and with our committee to see if that court them through for that. The biggest one that I'm working on right now is called the 988 hotline. A lot of our police, first responders, hospitals have been overrun since COVID and even before with suicide calls, drug overdoses, domestic crises, and they are usually dispatched. And many of them, and I'm sure that the chief would say that a lot of the officers are crisis trained and trauma trained, but we want to be able to get a case to be able to, in some cases, a trained person who's a mental health worker, possibly a peace officer, can go out and be able to address that situation that's going on in the home, and sometimes bypass the hospitals or many other things that can stop, really backing up a system. Okay, I worked with Bill Benoit out of the hospital, and he says so often people are left in there for 24, 48 hours waiting for a bed when they have been and often we can get them to a continuum of care. It just depends on whether they need it to be, have a health clearance. So we are working very hard, and so what our goal is to have the 911, and then also that we kind of retrain people and educate the public to them when know when they need to dial 988, and it will dispatch a totally different people to that particular scene. Our budget that passed this year, I think, is great for our communities. Many things wrote in there as far as CARES money, recovery, different things to be able to help our businesses and townships and communities in our district. So I plan to be here often, at least twice a year, at least quarterly, to update you on what we are doing down in Columbus. And I can always be reached. I'm going to give each one of you one of my brochures, and it's going to have the contact information, because anyone who emails or calls us at rep75ohiohouse.gov will get an answer. And I only have one township left to visit, and I visit every city and township in the district as far as attending their township meetings and their trustees meetings and many other things. So it's very important to me to get to know each one of you and let you know that you have a representative that truly cares about you, that wants to hear what you have to say as far as the legislation and benefit our district, as well as it usually ends up being the rest of Ohio too as well.
Do you mind answering a couple questions?
I would love to.
I got two things that have always annoyed me. I mean, what you're doing is great, and I totally appreciate you coming, because I can count on 3 fingers how many tape.
This is the second time I've been here.
Yeah, you're great. This whole, as a township, we are screwed, our residents are screwed when it comes to levies. The only way we can fund, is levies. When is Ohio going to get their head out of their yin-yang and figure out the school issue?
Well,
I mean, we're having a hard time running a levy for police because, they're underfunded as usual. But now we got people that are so mad that we had to do a large levy for the schools in Ohio, just running around with their heads buried in the sand. I mean, it makes no sense.
Well, the Patterson school funding plan for transparency has been one of the best that's been put out. I have in constant contact, Mike, with our superintendents, and only one in the district was a little upset by the funding that was coming. So I think that we're pretty good there. You did pass a levy here, and I feel like it was a year ago or 2 years ago?
Probably 2.
It's been 2, but it just hit taxes this year, so that's why everybody's seeing the financial
That's
impact
what we're seeing. Right, and so there are some districts here who can't pass a.
Oh, I know, it's tough.
And so the Patterson funding, I went to a couple different presentations on that, because they had to talk about the services, the teachers, you had to get the counselors, every part of this had to be taken a look at. And then also in a district that has more density, more population, they can get more money for the school. So, trying to fund in Aurora is quite different than funding Brimfield. And all of that needs to be addressed.
I just want some kind of relief from the property taxes.
Right.
I mean, we're hearing people now that say Brimfield's just too expensive. We're going
Tax, you gotta do personal income tax, which usually never, goes over as far as funding schools or things of that nature, which are but the Fair School Funding Act, take a look at it, and you will see that it's far different from what's been in the past. If you have any questions on that, please reach out and I'll go over that with you.
Okay, and then, I probably will reach out to you. The other thing is, Brimfield is is it the largest in Portage County?
Largest township.
Yeah. Why can't we get our name on a frickin' sign in 76? Give me a frickin' break. I mean, I'm gonna get a can of spray paint, cross off Canton, put Brimfield. Come on, that's ridiculous.
But you know what, and I answer this question, is that something that's legislatable for me to do?
I don't know, I mean, you're getting a sign for a wounded warrior, which is
But
wonderful.
that's added to the.
I know, but you got more power than the three of us.
The thing is, I would have to find that out if that's not something that's more of a county.
I don't know, I don't think they like Brimfield, even though we're one of the engines that drives Portage County.
Oh my gosh.
Well, they're gonna be really confused because we're putting a bunch of new signs up coming in and out of town.
Yeah.
So when people get off there, they're gonna think they're in Kent.
I know.
And then they're gonna see Brimfield, they're gonna be all
I
confused.
really don't know the answer to that.
Well, if you could find it, that'd be great.
All right, I would agree with you coming in there.
I mean, we're probably over
It's
15.
around 18, I think it's often, if you go left, you go toward the Walmart, and then you go this way.
Yeah, no, nothing to
That
tell
one
people
and
there.
and 43, they both say Kent.
And it should say Brimfield, the center of Portage County. That's,
Well, I can't make any promises on that one, but
Come on, you know it's right.
Listen, I have to find out whether that was truly a legislatable, because that's
I don't
something
know.
that I'm thinking is more.
But maybe a letter from you would, I know how hard it was to get a frickin' traffic light on 43. You know, I mean, they said there was no need. I told them, get up here and try crossing over, you
You know
know?
what, I will make down my notes, and I'll disagree or tell you, see if that is something that one can't do, or, you know, who.
I think it's ODOT.
That's what I was gonna say.
They march to their own beat.
Right, right.
Well,
But, anyway.
Sorry.
I will say, I just want to thank you because I reached out to you with the American Recovery Act dollars. As soon as I heard that there was movement on the floor for a vote for this, I immediately reached out to Gail to say, listen, you got to represent the townships on this because we often get cut out of funding. And she was very responsive. In fact, she was headed to the floor and took time to call us back to make sure she was going to represent townships. So, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Another piece that I'd like to see the state legislators start working on for townships specifically is local government fund disbursements. That formula is so outdated. It comes down to 3 votes. The largest city, the county, and everybody else together. So Kent and the county take the largest sums of money. We're growing here. We need to, and it's not even that they take the largest sum, they help set the formula. And the formula never benefits it based on population. So we got to find a way to change that local government fund distribution formula that benefits people more fairly. Townships often get left out in this.
We worked hard on that and we couldn't get any movement.
Yeah, we worked really hard as a local group of townships through the Portage County Township Association. We got a little bit more than we got before, but nothing compared to what we should be getting.
Kent just walks away with, I mean, they just walk away smiling and we're sitting there.
Yeah, and we've,
Fair distribution.
of the local government fund, because that formula is from the 70s. It's just not right. And the other problem is that because that formula exists, that's often the go-to when other funds come in. So if there's, state's gonna disperse additional road funds or federal funds come down for some reason, we always hear the state house go, well, we'll send it to the county and follow your LGF distribution. Well, then we get cut out of even more money, you know, and we're just such a growing township that it really hinders our ability to fund things.
So your argument then is we are a growing township and we have a bigger population, why should we be distributed like we were in the South?
Yeah.
Well, I think all townships should be distributed equally.
Yeah, and it's not just for us. I would say it's for all the townships. We need to look at a better distribution, some type of base payout model, and then a distribution on population beyond that, I think would help these townships survive better.
These large cities, they won't go for it. because
Right,
That's all their, you know, that's their watering flower fund.
Right.
So
But the
they're
large
just trying to
cities
survive.
have so many other revenue funds that they can work off of that not only Brimfield, but every township across the state struggles with. So we have to find a way to distribute that money more fairly.
You know, I will reach out to leadership on that, specifically Don Miller would probably, or Jason Stevens down in the legislature would probably be able to guide me on how to respond to that.
Yeah, and if you need some feedback, or I'm willing to come down and talk, or we can talk on the phone, and just, I would like to see better distribution across the state for the
They
townships.
really need to look into townships, because, you know, we're basically like someone's illegitimate stepchild.
Okay.
Get ready, the cities will hate that.
Yeah, the cities aren't gonna like it, but we gotta do something, because the townships in Portage County represent 50% of this county's population. So we really gotta stand up and fight for the townships this year.
I would agree with you, and I'm glad to have that information brought to me. That's why I attend meetings or want to hear from all of you, either by phone calls or coming to my district office hours or visiting here. I will take a look at that, with that, because I'm happy to have that information. And also how to get Brimfield on a sign.
Was that the CARES money where that they used that formula and we have the same population pretty much as Ravenna and they got $1 million and we got like 100,000?
Yeah, I believe the CARES Act was distributed under that.
We have the same population, but we,
We're bigger than.
Yeah, and we're still, and the problem too is it works off of census data, at least here in Portage County, that was the agreement, is that we're gonna distribute based upon population census data, where our census data is for 2010. Brimfield is estimated to have grown exponentially. 2010, we were roughly 10,000 residents, based on housing projections out of our zoning office, we predicted to be around 15,000. That's a major difference when you start talking money.
Right, and if you look at it, I mean, in essence, they are discriminating against townships.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to use one of those words, we are being discriminated against.
You know,
Forcing our residents to have to pay more levies. It's not right.
no, I agree with you on that, and that's something, like you said, I'm gonna reach out.
Use a discrimination word.
Okay, okay, do we use that, like I said, I'm just using discrimination.
Well, we are being discriminated.
Yeah,
You know we are.
right.
We're gonna get a hashtag.
Yeah, no needs for Brookfield. Okay, I will check into that and get back for both of you, because that's what I want to be able to do. And so, again, just know that I'm here. I'm gonna be having an in-district office hours at the Streets Grow coming up. I had one in Ravenna that was overrun. I mean, I had 18 people, there was a waiting list and people showed up. It was very interesting, but it just kind of showed me that people were interested in talking with their legislator. And just the variety of different things that were brought to me. I've actually moved forward on 2 of the things, having meetings and starting committees at IPs to look at some legislation in those areas. So that's what we're always here to listen to.
You know, one other thing while I'm thinking about it, if you ever would like Nick and I or whoever coming down to talk, well, I don't think a lot of your legislatures understand the pains that a township goes through and the pains that our residents go through. And I mean, I know I'm not against taxes, believe me. I'm just against too many taxes. And when you got an older population like we do, and then they're burdened with this, and then we're trying to, I mean, we got police officers on the roads on some weekends when there's only 2 on the road because we can't even fund them. So now we're putting this levy out to try to, I mean, we need more cops. I mean,
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, that LGF fund comes back to that funding again, is that, most townships have sheriff's department, operate under the sheriff. So they're getting some of that money. It's getting dispersed around because the county takes 50% of the state disbursement off the top. Well, we don't operate with the sheriff's department. We have our own police department. So we're not getting that funding back to us that should come. There's a lot of funding issues when it comes to townships, especially once they hit a certain population size across the state of
I
Ohio.
just had a thought. Since we are the economic engine now that's driving the Portage County, why doesn't Portage County give us some money for another cop? I mean, they're taking all the money, we're doing all the work.
Right?
Well, those are all issues that need to be debated, and Marta, without bringing them and bringing your problems there, we can always get them, to look at. So, but anyway, I'm just really happy to have the opportunity to see all of you here this morning. I'm gonna go ahead and give you, this is just my contact information, because anybody who knows right now knows how to get hold of me, and my information is right on there, and.
I'm really happy you came. You have a great husband.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, I can
I
send.
would like, I like 3 of them.
He's an airplane nut, isn't he?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you should see the new one he just got done.
I mean, he was telling me something about it at one point. I think it's coming.
No, the videos is already finding some of that legislature too. We've received some different things also. Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I know.
Can't leave Chick out.
Just a little buzz in your ear. House Bill 248, the mandates with everything. I think there's going to be a new bill coming in right away that is going to kind of take that one off the table and bring some new information to that, those mask mandates and the vaccine mandates. So I'm keeping my eyes and ears open on that. We'll have a report on that to make probably too. So.
All right, well, thank you so much. If you need anything from us, let us know.
I just have to run one to the next appointment. When I'm in district, I have like 5 a day. So.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Thank you. We just appreciate you stopping down.
I'll see you again soon. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, we will move into, continue our meeting. We have the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda for discussion.
I will make that motion.
Second.
Any additions or changes to the agenda before you? All right, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
All those in favor, Mike? Yes. Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for purchase orders.
I have reviewed the purchase orders and signed them, so I'm gonna.
Second.
Make a motion.
All those in favor, Mike? Yes. Nick?
Yes,
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
and I'll entertain a motion for warrants,
So move.
and I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mike? Yes. Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed. We skipped the minutes.
Oh, and then I'll entertain a motion for meeting minutes from our previous meeting of,
7:28.
yes. We had 2 meetings on 28th. We had bid opening and we also had a regular meeting. So,
I'll make that motion. Are you?
I'll second it.
All those in favor, Mike? Yes. Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
And we'll now move into public comments. We please ask that you state your name and address before addressing the board and limit comments to 5 minutes. Anybody? Nothing? Things good, Chick? Good. All right. All right, hearing no public comments, I will ask for any safety concerns. Hearing none? I will say, Dave, thank you so much for getting those trees cleared up over by Talmadge Road. It's much easier to see as you come through there now, so, yeah, so. All right, hearing no safety concerns, we'll move right into our business portion of the meeting with the police department. Captain Atkins.
Good morning. I don't have a whole lot for you today, just a couple updates. For old business, we had our third neighborhood event. We had our grill out in the Pleasant Lakes area, which would have been everybody in the Copper Creek and the condos and Pleasant Lakes. And it probably was our biggest turnout that we have had. We had to leave once and go get some more supplies because we were pumping out hot dogs like crazy. So it was a very nice turnout, and it was one of the community events that I saw like the community actually mingling. So there were groups of neighbors that knew each other that were off to the side mingling, which we didn't really see at all the other ones, which was kind of nice. It was a very good event. I believe we're going to have one more. When and where hasn't been defined yet, but I believe Roy said one more.
Because I just wanted to have police officers, I couldn't believe there were that many officers there. There had to be 10, 15 officers there.
We had quite a turnout. It was a nice turnout. You know, these guys are working a lot of overtime. There's a lot of vacations, so being able to staff them is a little iffy sometimes, but you know, just everybody showed up. It was nice. There's plenty enough people there to talk, shake hands, answer questions, and someone to grill, pretty much. So like I said, one more. We'll let the board know when we're going to have that one and where it's going to be. The administrative assistant hiring process is still ongoing. I am in my second round of interviews. I have had multiple people drop out of the process. The one thing I'm hearing is they don't want to work the hours. They didn't read the job description and saw that it is going to be a night shift job. Okay. So there were at least 3 or 4 right off the bat that recalled their application, or when we called to interview them, I had Patty and Deb remind them, hey, this is a night shift job to start, and a few people have dropped out. I do have some good candidates. I'm still sorting through the people who have turned all the proper paperwork in, but we have a few to look at right now. Trying to do it as fast as we possibly can, but because of their access to law enforcement, criminal justice information, they have to get a full background check before we can even allow them to be an employee, because they can see that stuff.
Do you do the full investigation, like the polygraph and all that too, or just the background?
It's everything in the background except for a polygraph, psychological and physical and drug screen. Okay. So they get pretty much everything up into where a police officer would get a conditional offer, and then they would go for those things. Okay. They get all those things, except for the things that are obvious that are definitely a police officer issue, not like, do they have, what college degree, proper training, do they have the right amount of hours, do they have their OPATA license, things like that.
Okay.
New business, the only thing I wanted to point out to the board, because it has been talked about with a lot of the talk of the levy, is our call volume. And I answered a question for the Portager the other day about call volume, and while our number of calls hasn't really increased, the time that we are spending on calls and the type of calls is getting drastically different. Where we would be there 5 minutes and clear, we're now there half an hour or an hour. And as an hour, there aren't at least 1 or 2 people anywhere else in the township. And that is what's concerning, spending being at Walmart for half an hour, 45 minutes, 4 or 5 times a day, being at the hotels for half an hour to an hour, 2 or 3 times a day. That is what concerns me more than the number of calls. It's the time that we are tied up on calls and there's nobody else to respond to calls. So in giving you the stats this week, the typical we would give you as of Monday, we were at 9,022 calls for service and 258 arrests, criminal complaints, and summons. So that covers everything. A physical arrest when we take someone in custody, a complaint that we filed and got a warrant for, or their summons, or a handwritten summons we issue for thefts at Walmart, where we actually summons them to court. That covers all those arrests. So that's our most time-consuming thing. So 258 is where we're sitting at right now. in 2019, we had 350 total for the year. We had 213 under the same time frame. So we're up 40 some arrests right now, and that's just an average. We could end up being way higher than 350. Now in 2020 was a pandemic year, so numbers were down. That's why I included 2019. We only were at 130 this time last year, and we're at 258 right now. And for the whole year last year, we had 278. Those are criminal arrests, criminal summons, or complaints, not calls for service. So when you're up 100 arrests, that is a lot of time that we are spending on calls. And I've said it over and over, when I only have 2 people working, and one of you mentioned that earlier, that isn't a rarity. That is almost every day, every shift. It is a rarity to have more than 2 people working with, especially in the summer when there's vacations. If there are 2 people dealing with someone who's not cooperative at Walmart, there is nobody patrolling the other 22.2 square miles of this township.
So the higher volume of calls, was that a result of more proactive policing at the time, more of those just touch points on traffic stops, hey, just reminders, move on, and that's the shorter call volume time?
Yes, when we had higher volume of calls, it is because of proactive activity, mostly traffic stops. Our traffic stops, take out last year because it doesn't count because of the pandemic, but they're some of the lowest we've had in my history here with this amount of cops, because they don't have time to be proactive. They don't have time to make traffic stops. So you take away 1,000 traffic stops a year, that makes your call numbers look lower, but you weren't making those traffic stops because you were stuck at Walmart for an hour. That was 2 traffic stops or warnings. So we've never been a ticket-heavy police department and never will be, but that was proactive work that made us visible. You pull one car over on 43 and sit there with your lights on, you slow cars down for 15 minutes. And when people put you in ways that there's a police officer sitting, you might slow down traffic for a half an hour to an hour until somebody removes you from ways, because everybody sees that, oh, there's a cop ahead, I'm gonna slow down. So that has a good effect. Just by stopping someone and giving a warning, you reduce speed. We don't have the time to do that, and we lose those calls.
And that's my concern is A, proactive policing first, and then second, if you can't even do proactive policing, it's hard to do community policing and just get out and interact with the community and the neighborhoods.
Yeah, well, let's just take afternoons for an example. It is very, very common for them to start their shift going to Walmart. 3 o'clock out the door to Walmart. And they end up being at Walmart, Meijer, or Menards, or the hotels until 7 or 8 o'clock. By then, when you go drive through the neighborhood, everybody's going to bed. Right. Like, you don't have the time to do any community policing, or like I do it during the day, but I'm second in command and I can go out and drive around, not have to answer calls unless we get backed up. But in afternoons and nights, there's just nobody to do it.
Right. All right, well, I thank you for the update. Any questions for the police department?
I don't know, you keep saying the word Walmart. I mean, shouldn't Walmart be contributing to our policing?
Find a way to make it happen.
I mean, it's just, so basically you're their private security?
Yes. I mean, they have a problem down there. If you remember Chief Oliver, he called it organized looting. And that is a very, very, very good description of it. It's organized looting. It is nonstop. And they're just as bad at Meijer and Menards. You know, they have aggressive loss prevention employees. They're trying to save their product, and people just come in there like lemmings, one after another.
Well, does Walmart still have the aggressive force, or?
Yeah, 2 of them now. They hired 2 of them. It goes in cycles with Walmart, because sometimes they get some people that aren't so aggressive and will die off a little bit, and then some people quit, and then you only have managers calling, and then you get the gung-ho people, and they have 2 gung-ho people right now. So,
well, I don't mean, I don't want to drag on this topic, but I thought they were okay with $1 million loss a year. I mean, that's.
I don't know that they're okay with it, but that's what they're getting.
I mean, that's what they're, yeah.
I believe it was 1.4 million was one of the years I heard about, maybe in 2019.
5% of their inventory walks out the door.
I believe there's a certain threshold that the store is supposed to stay within for managers to get their highest rating. But when it comes to their insurance company, their insurance company doesn't want any loss. You know, they want that loss reduced, but they understand there's a limit, I guess.
All right, thank you for the report. Any other questions? Okay, we'll move into fire department.
All right, for the fire department on really what we have is old business. I'm gonna pass this down to you, Nick. We need to accept a letter, that needs to be sent to USDA, basically saying we accept Moody Nolan's recommendation of Rycon being the contract builder at the lowest bid, price. So we also need to sign that. Nick, I don't know, do you wanna read that?
No, I mean, it's just its acceptance. I've read it real quick, and we talked about this. It's already been voted on. We already have a
Right.
motion on the floor or
Right.
a number for it, so we don't need to re-vote on
And I
that.
just need to send it off to them, just backing up, we did our due diligence, we went with the lowest, most responsible bidder, and we interviewed, and they were vetted by, Moody Nolan, so it all is in agreement, but USDA, in a conversation I had with them yesterday, said, time out, we're your loan company, we need some more things.
Well,
So,
what else do we need? I was confused by that email that came through.
so the email we looked at
Yeah.
had like 5 or 6 things, then the second email had one
We
thing.
just needed one, which we hadn't even got to that point yet.
I will follow up today, and we may have to, whoever wants to be involved, I know Nick does, and I know you
Yeah.
do, might need that phone conversation again and say, where are we at, everybody?
Great, because
I
one
was
of
hoping to
those-
sign a contract.
One of those documents came from Dinsmore, and I know it was already out there, and Jay even said it. He goes, I already got this, and I submitted it to you guys
I know,
already.
so we may have to have that phone conference or
Well, that's what
video
I just need, because
conference.
right now I'm sitting that we don't owe anything because of that last email. We just owed that.
Right, that's
So-
the way I read it as of yesterday afternoon, yesterday morning was totally different.
I know.
I will follow up and
Okay.
see if we need to have that.
So I'm waiting now to hear back from you.
Yes,
Before we
let's do that.
Okay.
Let me switch gears. I think we do need to have that conversation
No, I think
with
we need to.
everybody and say, okay, what
Oh,
are we
no,
missing?
no, I get it.
'Cause I wanted to sign a contract today, now we can't.
So I think we need to have that meeting on Friday, just a phone conference.
I'm
And then,
available.
depending on the results of that, we may have another phone conference the following week. But once we have that and we know everything's a go, I'd ask for a special meeting of the board just so we can get the contract moving.
Yeah, I
Because
just,
Rycon's ready to move equipment, we just need to finalize the USDA pieces.
So Moody said, hey, we've sent everything, we've done our end. We said, hey, we've done everything on our end. Rycon said, hey, here's your contract. USDA said, time out, we're the loan. Until we have anything, you're not signing anything, is basically what they said.
so
So
we
I'm
need
at
a
their
conversation to
mercy
go,
right now.
what exactly do we need? Or are you
Right.
mistaken that it was all
Is it
turned in?
just one person? One
It's the
person that's holding
USDA
this?
guy.
USDA. And I'm not saying they're holding it up, but they need a few
He
more
just says
things.
we're missing stuff.
Yeah.
But now
But
there's,
then he also found out afterwards, everything had,
Right.
majority of had been sent to a different person at the US. So the USDA just has
So you're gonna
internal
follow up on
communication.
we just need to confirm what actually still
Craig's going
missing.
to get us a phone conference.
Okay.
But it's like signing for your house. I mean, if the loan company says, hey, we're not giving you the loan, I'm not signing
Right.
my name until the loan
I,
says we're good.
I can do
So-
anything before 2:00 on Friday.
Okay. So I will follow up with you on that. So this is the piece they say I need right now, so I got that.
Okay.
So,
So we're gonna wait to hear back from you.
really, the rest of the fire department stuff is we're just, like police, we're running calls and we're working on fire station stuff, so there's your update for fire.
Okay.
That's what
So
I'm
we
doing.
did need to move to accept Moody Nolan's recommendation of Rycon.
We already did it before.
That's in the minutes
Yeah,
already.
I just needed this
So we just
letter
needed to sign
now.
that, so we don't need anything.
Correct.
Okay.
That'll move us into admin then.
Yeah, if you have any other questions, other than that, we're moving along. Admin, if I could go ahead with my update, mine's mainly on the soccer fields. I've been working very hard on the soccer fields over there to get those ready. When we say get ready, I mean, they're playing, they're on them. With that being said, there's been a concrete pad poured for a storage unit that we're gonna buy. The storage unit's been ordered. 2 water lines have been put in and working. We put a hands-free, let's call it COVID drinking fountain over there for all the kids and adults to use. Porta potties are on site. The field got fertilized again. The goose doctor was out and sprayed. So this happened the
Sprayed the
last
dirt?
2 weeks. Yeah, sprayed the dirt. I mean, this rain will help.
Right.
But things are moving right along and it is. So,
I had a thought when we were talking about, and see what you guys think. Since that's such a nice facility right now, why don't we copy like the police do? Let's do a trustee, fiscal officer, and Parks, hot dog thing, some Sunday afternoon.
You could do it, honestly, you might do it toward the evening when all the kids and families are
Well,
out
that's what I
there.
think.
Yeah,
I mean,
either in the
fields.
evening
Oh, that's a
or
great
Saturday is when we have games going there. So
Well,
I think it'd be easier to do in the evening at practice, because with the games, you have out-of-towners in there,
Right.
it's a little busy.
Well, I think we ought to do it
You
before the
know,
weather gets.
you know what would go over great? Provide ice cream for the kids. They'd love it. And the parents would be there anyways.
You can have the Huntington truck come back down.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, I
They
know
give us a
somebody that
credit
can
card.
donate all this stuff.
Right?
I mean, I think we ought to set a date and do it.
Yeah, just go out and
I mean-
grill hot dogs and hang out.
And be out there, you know, I mean, I'd like to do it, well, September, we got the thing, maybe October, maybe early September.
Right.
Just sometime I mean, and Craig, I'd like to have you
Yeah.
there, because you've been, you know, instrumental in this, but I just think it's a great outreach, and sometimes, you know, I talked to one lady, she goes, well, the trustees, I mean, we don't even really know you. I mean, I think if we could get out there and do that.
Right.
You want to do a ribbon and cutting.
Well, let me jump in there. I'm gonna take the lead on something here. I would like to, and maybe this is too lofty, let's name the field by next trustee meeting. Needs a name. Nobody knows what to call it.
Everybody's calling it the fire field now.
Well,
Yeah.
it's Fire Field, it's the Kelso Field,
We need to
it's
put
the
a name
Kelso
to
Road
it.
Field.
Yeah, Council already has.
Right, but those are just names that are being used, they're passed around as the team.
Well, why
events.
don't we pass some names to Craig, and maybe you can come with the top 5, and,
All right, let's,
Yeah.
But let's
is that
put-
okay? We need to put a name to it, because
Well,
nobody
'cause
knows
if we
what
get
to
a
call
name
it.
to it, then we can get an address on it too, because outside teams, because people are gonna be coming from Kent, Ravenna, Rootstown to play in the next couple weeks, we need to be able to drop a pin in Google so people
I
can
have an
find where to go.
address already that's there. We have an address and stuff,
Okay.
but it wouldn't hurt to put a name to it.
Right.
Nothing cheesy.
You
Let's
can
stay
call it-
basic.
You can call it fields.
No, I don't want your ideas.
but
Yeah, I
Craig,
don't want
let's,
your.
let's come
Just
up,
submit it to me, I'll get it in
Fields
there.
That's
There-
my,
there you
that-
go.
write it down.
Craig, let's
Fields
come up
five.
with a date for the next meeting too. I mean, Saturdays are sort of hard for me with the catering.
That's why I think an evening, like a Thursday evening or a Wednesday evening, something like that.
Okay, can I pass it back to Nick? He's part of the program. You tell us what the best evening might be. We talk.
Well, yeah, I'll check with the coaches, but I mean, basically, we're there Monday through Friday.
So if we were
We're
sitting
there
there with
at
selling not selling, giving away hot dogs and ice
Selling
cream,
hot
I mean, my God, these kids would love it.
Yeah,
$5.
just if I ask if you bring ice cream, that we do it later in the evening, because we played last year and the ice cream truck showed up at the beginning of the game, and I had a heck of a time keeping the kids focused on the game because they saw the ice cream truck.
Sugar them up. Gotta sugar them up. Yeah, we'll work on that.
Well, let's.
But I'd like to
let's
get a
talk
name to
and-
that field also.
Let's talk and let's just get this, I mean, it's something to show off,
Right?
so it's good.
Stop. When we following up with that, like I said, that storage unit should be coming in the next 10 days. I want to get the electrical panels done. John Mathis is working on that, and that'll be about my cap on money this year that we've set aside for it. So, if you go out there, it's like playing on concrete. It needs
Well,
some more rain.
It's been so dry,
So,
you know?
I think.
Well, and I told Craig, he's supposed to get some hoses, I'm gonna go out in the evenings after practices and water the field to help loosen that up a little bit and get the grass to grow some, so.
You have to have a wide brim hat.
Put it this way, if a kid that can kick 10 feet right now can score a 100-foot goal, it just rolls. It's a fast field.
Yep. It's good though, I like it, keeps kids running.
Right, that ball goes.
Oh, I know, but if we did that, somebody would complain about that.
That's all I have on that.
All right, Kelso House.
Well, can I talk about this for 1 second, and then Mike, you can add in. We have, the Kelso House Brimfield Historical Society has been run by volunteers for years. And unfortunately, that the staff of volunteers that are over there are maybe getting up a little bit in age, and not as many people are involved. They run the whole grounds maintenance with people that, nothing against who are doing it, I'm glad they are, but maybe some people that might have a difficult time handling that much work.
In their 80s?
Yeah, so, and we've also had issues with park event type things or coordination of programs with them, where it's been a nice mix of our park system to be involved with them. It helps for all of us. And then also we've helped with some administrative things over there just because they don't have the capabilities to do that. So what we have in place is a contract between Brimfield and the council house that will provide those services to them. That's Brimfield history. That's us anyway. So for it to be falling apart maybe a little bit over there just because there's not enough people to help out with certain things, I think we really need to get involved with that. So,
And I mean, just for, I don't know if you knew, Nick, I mean, there was a point where we were helping them. And then things sort of got, personalities didn't work and we all just sort of died off.
Right.
But they are truly in need. And I'm bringing back the election day dinner just to help them raise funds because, I mean, without our history, we're nothing. And they are good stewards of, keeping our history alive.
No, I'm excited for the election day dinner. I think it's nice to bring it back because it was here 4 years ago and then it just kind of faded away and I miss having it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna encourage you and Sue and whoever to come help serve.
Well, like I told Darlene, anything they need down there, just let me know. I'll be there.
I know, we just, we got so many assets in this township, we just have to advertise them and let people know about them.
well, and with our Brimfest 2.21, it was a nice mix with their property and our property and their offering of their barn. It was just kind of a nice, but then they couldn't keep up with tree removal stuff that needed to be taken down, so we could use the barn because they didn't have anybody to take them down. So Dave had helped out with cutting some of those limbs down that they couldn't get to, because I didn't want their 80-year-old out there on a ladder cutting that tree down.
Right, and I mean, there's not a lot there. I mean, the biggest thing, if they would have someone helping mow, I've been,
Or run our snow plow through their
Yeah, I mean-
driveway in the winter so they don't have to get out there and shovel by hand.
right, and I mean, it's just, that we need to keep them around. I mean, when Edgar McCormick was there, it was such a great organization, but there was a lot of younger people and stuff, and Chris stopped laughing. So,
Just laugh that day you got another driver.
so, I mean, it's time. We are one big community.
So we had an agreement that Chad Murdoch put together.
And which was an older agreement
Right,
too.
he just
so-
updated it. We had to do some administrative fixing of some things over there, which we did take care of before I helped Darlene fix those. So I would just ask for a motion that you guys would approve that agreement with the council house in Brimfield Township.
So I'll make that motion to accept the agreement between the council house and Brimfield Township to provide assistance.
Okay?
And I will second that.
I think this is good. This is what we're trying to do in the community is continue to build these relationships so that we can have more of these events going forward. I'm really excited for it.
Do you have that agreement in writing?
Yes.
Yeah, I
do.
sent it to all of you guys. It was
Okay.
from Chad.
Yep.
Okay.
And it was just a thing. I mean, and this is not opening the door for us to do everybody. This is just, since this is such a direct part of Brimfield. You know what I mean?
Well, I was on that board for 4 years and I gave it a good 95% input. And I just really hope that this new start for them will work.
Well, they're excited, and I mean, and they're really willing to work.
And there has been a change in some of the people that are on the board.
Right, and it's not like we don't
Sounds
get
good.
it's not like we don't get anything in return. 'Cause look, they're letting us use all their property for the event. And
Right.
who knows how long it's gonna take with everything else.
Well, we also talked when I was up there this week about Christmas because we normally do the big display on our property, but we're gonna be under construction. So they'd like to potentially work with us on the
Oh, that'd
Christmas
be great.
display for
Okay.
2021.
And you know what would be nice, and I mean, there's a couple places that my wife likes seeing them, they actually have a trail where you can get out and walk. So instead of, depending on how COVID is, I think it'd be good. It's just, but I mean, as we bring together our town center plan, I mean, we want the council house to be part of it.
Right.
Because once we get these sidewalks that'll connect everything together, we want that part. I mean, because I haven't been talking to Mike or whoever I was talking to, our town center is, wow, let's go eat at McDonald's and we'll run over to Dollar General. There's not much to do.
Right.
But, we have the Kelso House, which is something educational, you can get the kids to put their phones down. We need something in town center to bring people to town center. And that's why us bringing back the town square is a big thing. I mean, there's some exciting things coming. We just gotta keep pushing it forward.
With all that being said, I mean, as we push back the station build, I mean, we're gonna miss Brimfest and the lighting this year and probably pushing it next year. I mean, we are.
Oh, I'm
So
sure you are.
2 years, it'll be.
Well, and if
gone
it
from
works
the
well
center.
down there, do we even know if we want to bring it back up there?
Well, I told you
Because-
my opinion is that's why I'm doing the electrical panel and the water,
Right.
that it moves over there.
Right.
But,
Because your space is gonna be limited at.
But as
the-
long
Yeah,
as
it's
you can
gonna
still contact, connect with the Kelso
Yeah.
house, because that's something to see.
yep.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor. All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion
Dave?
passed. Dave doesn't get to vote.
Also, under administration, we have the Ohio-specific opioid proposed settlement. So I'd like to make a proposal on this, and then we can discuss it. So I'd like to make the motion that we accept an emergency resolution to accept the material terms of the One Ohio subdivision settlement pursuant to the One Ohio Memorandum of Understanding and consistent with the terms of the July 21st, 2021 National Opioid Settlement Agreement.
Second.
So this is a national lawsuit that is ongoing with the opioid crisis.
That's
There
a hard
was,
word.
yeah, there was a lawsuit, the state of Ohio tied into that. There's going to be a settlement. The question is, do we want to pursue that ourselves legally, or would we rather tie in with the state, and then they have a disbursement formula of how the money would work? Because we're over 10,000 residents, we're able to get in on that settlement with the state instead of doing it individually. So basically, it saves us from doing all the legal costs. And that's what they're asking for. The deadline to do this, though, is this Friday to get the paperwork turned in to the legal firm that's representing the state of Ohio.
And I did go to that conference, their teleconference that they had, and they have 6 attorneys that were on that knew inside and out what was going on. So by all means, we do not want to attack this ourselves. We want them to handle all that.
And the more that they can get to tie into the settlement agreement with the state, the higher our percentages go. So by getting all the large township cities, villages to come together as one voice, and then we'll get a disbursement of those funds.
Plus, this option doesn't cost us any money. If we went and
Correct.
did it ourselves, we're hiring lawyers to do all that, and that's just,
Well, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we.
we already
We
have.
have the motion on the
Okay.
floor.
No.
Sue seconded.
Oh,
I
that's
second
right.
it.
Right.
So any questions about it?
No.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Yes.
Sue? Okay, motion passed. I will get that, after it's signed, I will get it all to Sue. Sue have it right now, or do you have it?
I have it.
Okay.
It actually just needs your signature.
Okay.
It doesn't even
Okay,
already
pass
need our
that one down
signature.
then.
It just needed the votes on it.
All right, and we'll get that, I will copy you in on where we're sending it. all of
Well,
those.
John, you said it could be years before there's anything.
Yeah, what they were talking about, I mean, it's a process. We're just gonna be included in on it now, so whatever happens, happens, and whatever their settlement that they gain, if there's anything financially, we'll get part of that.
So has there been a settlement awarded yet?
There's been an amount, but it hasn't been figured out how they're gonna get it from
As you said, there might be
the bank
paying it
dealers.
for the next 20 years.
Correct.
So they won't have to
'Cause
pay
it's-
it in lump sum, so it may just be an annual check that we get.
It's billions of dollars, so.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else under administration?
Yes, if you're done.
Yeah.
All right, think back with me. Last meeting, Sue had a conversation with me and said, what board did we vote her on? Remember we laughed at the end of the meeting? What was that?
Oh, I wasn't here. I was.
No, you weren't here, but what did we talk about? John, you brought it up as a board that we need someone.
You
to-
guys all laughed about putting me on a
And
board.
I said Sue would like
Sue
that.
would-
What was
Sue would
that?
like that.
Sue, it was free food.
No, what
Free
was
food,
that? There was a
free
board.
food.
Do we remember what it was?
It has something to do with the health department.
Something inspecting food.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the Food Health Inspection Committee. So the health department is putting together a committee.
Because nobody
Now-
wanted
now's
to do
the
it, we
real
were just
meeting.
gonna
Now's
put
the
Sue
real
on it
time.
while she
Yeah.
wasn't here.
Well, I really can't do it.
It was,
That's true.
they're
You're
looking for
out.
volunteers to help the health department to put together a coalition to look at how they're gonna inspect restaurants, feedback from the communities on what they want to see as part of that.
Okay.
And
So Mike can't serve on
can't do
it
it.
because
Do you know how often they meet or what they do or
it's a brand new committee, they're just starting it, so it's from ground zero.
who's the head honcho on it?
So it'd be the health director,
You.
Gloria.
Okay.
Jeez.
You're-
Before, we were joking when we put,
Yeah,
are you
that-
interested? I just
Oh,
needed
yeah.
to remind.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
so we just need to reach out to Joe and,
Okay, reach out to Joe.
yep, and he can help you
You
with
gonna
that.
reach out to Joe?
I don't know who Joe is.
Joe,
Delorio,
the
the health,
Delorio,
okay,
Health
the
Department.
health commissioner.
Yeah,
I know
we
him.
can- Yeah, we can do that, just.
Okay.
Okay, I'll work with you on that.
Okay, all right.
All right.
And
Thanks,
then,
Sue. Thank
just a comment, I've been
It
working.
doesn't pay anything?
No.
No.
Oh,
This is actually for Chris here, but I've been working on the excessive charge for false calls with the attorney. I don't have that back today. It will be based right out of the Ohio Revised Code, pretty much cut and paste. They've laid it out. It covers police and fire.
Well, that was the question. He asked me today,
Oh, okay.
do we
I-
want
I-
police covered in the false alarm drops or not?
Putting you on the spot, Roy was interested. I don't
I
know.
would say yes.
Okay, so you want me to draft, because I'll get a draft resolution here in the next couple of days, send it to you for review to make sure you're comfortable with it.
I think that he'd want to sit and talk about what the parameters would be, commercial business, this, home residential, this.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that we definitely want to be involved, because every time they go to the Super 8 for the alarm going off, we go to the Super 8. If
Okay,
it's a fire alarm, we go to it.
right.
I guess it was expressed, not to jump in there, ours is more the business end, not residential. They have a residential possibility.
I think we
They
would
have
add it, but I
excessive
think
calls.
we would give a lot of leeway.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
we
if
just have to
somebody's
be careful with how we
ABT
draft it,
10 times,
because
right?
with the growth that we have, we can no longer be like, well, we're not gonna do this person, we're gonna do that person. Like, there's gonna have to be a set parameter. Once we hit, 5 alarms in a month, or whatever it is that you come
Something
up
like
with.
that, yeah, and I think probably we'll grab some kind of language from Talmadge or Akron. I know they have,
Streetsboro already has it. Rootstown has it as a township. I got both of those.
it's not meant to hit people whose alarms go off every once in a while. It's meant the ones who have a broken alarm and refuse to fix it.
Right, right.
Yeah, there has to be some leeway on our end, and that's what I expressed to Mark also. Good daddy.
Well, and those numbers
We need
that
to be
you
able to
gave-
sign off.
Those numbers that you gave before were way out of line.
Well,
With-
Streetsboro's 6 false
And we're
alarms in a
30
year.
something, right?
Rootstown's is 3 in a year, and I've already been to Days in 45. I mean, that's not the calls for people. That's alarms and false alarms.
Those are false
Yeah.
calls.
45 times.
Does that include people smoking in the room, setting off the smoke detector? Do you get to count that?
We have to sit down and talk about those parameters. That's why I need a little leeway, police need a little leeway to say, okay, this is a call. Smoking in a room, it's a call for service.
It's a good question, because we both go to them and it's not a
Smoking,
fire.
here's what could happen, smoking in the room, all the smoke detectors taped shut. Who did that? Oh, the employee did that because they didn't want to hear it anymore. Well, now I got a problem, because it
Right.
happens.
Okay.
So, that's a difference. So there's gray that you would rely on us to divvy that out. With all that being said, once we do that, it's gonna have to come back to the
Well,
fiscal
we'll
office for billing.
we'll track and we'll bill and we'll do.
So
all
we'll
that.
have to have a generic sheet to fill out, turn into the girls over there.
But we've also figured out that we only need to do a single attempt, and if 30 days after
Just put it
failure to
on your
pay,
taxes.
it now goes to the county auditor and it's put as a lien against their property.
Right.
So we're not even chasing money anymore, so that makes it easier for us.
Right, which then it might cause down the road, if Days In or somebody else wanted to sell their property, boy, we're gonna have to get paid off before any of this goes,
Can we do anything to Walmart with this formula?
Well, it would cover
Oh,
all
well.
businesses.
Well, we don't get a whole lot of false alarms at all.
Well, don't we get sprinkler system issues down there?
But that would be a typical call for service.
Yeah, but
I mean,
that
taxes
doesn't happen.
pay for us to run a
Right.
generic set of items.
Well, but doesn't that happen multiple times though?
Not excessively.
Okay, it used to.
And that's an act of nature. Hey, the pipe froze, the employee couldn't control that.
Okay.
That's normal.
Okay. I thought there was an issue with this.
Again,
that was put
pipe
out.
froze, manager says, oh, well. Oh,
And it
well,
keeps freezing.
okay.
Yeah.
Now we'll go a different route.
Well, and I'm sure you guys will have write-ups on each situation down there, and go, hey, this is the 6th time we've been here in the last 2 months, so.
So we can work together on what that may be, but the initial draft from the attorney's almost done.
Yeah, cause I mean, what is our, I know we figured it out with gas and all, but what's a call cost us?
Depends on who's on it.
Well, and,
Yes. Do I have 2 on it or I have 4 on it?
well, but then also, you have somebody out at a false alarm, now we get a station fill, which is overtime, which is,
Let me answer it the back end way. It'll probably be a $300 charge to off the bat.
no, I was just thinking
So-
from
so
our
that's
perspective,
what we
for a
will
false
charge.
call that we go out on, if you were already out on an accident somewhere, now we get the call
Oh,
up to
yeah.
the hotel, now we have station fill.
Well,
We're paying
more-
overtime for
more importantly, and it's happened, is I'm at the hotel
And something big
45
happens,
times
right.
and I got your grandma having a heart attack.
Right.
And I can't get to them because I'm up there again. For
No, I
something
get
they
it.
refuse to fix.
Right.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
Well, whenever you get it all finished up, what you wanna do, come with us and we'll put out the billing system, and we'll
Right.
track all that and keep track of it, so.
Do you know that Ohio Revised Code?
It's written down somewhere. not-
I got it, and I mean, it's cut and paste. It says what police and what fire can do. I mean, it's
But we gotta
pretty
get
cut
it
and
into a
dry.
resolution form
Right.
with the right language, and then we gotta
But
get
it's
the
not like we're
billing piece in
making up
there.
something. It's in the Ohio Revised Code that we can do it, so.
It'll be just a little tricky getting their information for you for billing. I know of one right now, this alarm goes off at least 2 or 3 times a week. It's always a false alarm. It used to be every single midnight shift we went to it. Comes in as hydrosol, it's not hydrosol. Hydrosol leases the back of their building to an ambulance company. That ambulance company changes managers who changes the code, doesn't bother telling all the employees the code, and we go there for burglar alarms repeatedly. But when you look up the alarm system, it doesn't come back to physician's ambulance, it comes back to hydrosol, because he subs those buildings out. So we might have some work to do on our end to figure out who actually gets the bill.
I think it's to light a fire under some people to.
Well, and if
actually
we
fix
build hydrosol on that, all of a sudden they're gonna beat somebody down, one of their tenants.
Well, hopefully, because of the lien would go against
Right.
hydrosol, because I believe
Yeah.
they own the building and
And,
sub
and
it
like I
out.
said, our teeth in the lien is that initially when we thought about it, I'm like, I'm never gonna get anything out of it. Well, no, it says it will go on their taxes in a lien.
Craig, you have that revised code section?
I probably do. Nick, you probably have it too with the email I just
Well,
sent
if
you
you have, it, you
yesterday.
mind sending it out, or let me know what it is, so I can look it up?
Section 505.391.
505.391.
Yeah, .391, that's just for the fire alarms. They
No,
don't
it's,
have the
it's,
police one.
it's police in there.
Oh, is
Okay.
it too? Okay.
Okay, well,
Like
thanks.
I said, it's there. The
Okay.
language we need is right there already.
Very good.
So, it talks about the dollar amounts and everything right in the Ohio.
Oh, and then it's 505.511.
Oh, it is a
the
different one?
fees, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep, so .511 is the other one.
50511.
505.511. Yep, those would be the
Okay.
sections you need.
And as Chris said, as we continue to grow in calls, this is gonna happen more often, so if
Okay.
we can figure out a way for Walmart in here, let's do it.
Okay.
So, that, and.
Well, they don't understand what it does to us or to you guys.
No, that's what I mean, no one
Doesn't
really
matter.
cares, they just call and we show up, they don't understand that how much dollars it costs.
Anything else?
That is all I have now.
Padded chairs.
Padded chairs, all right, we'll get you a pad. All right, we're moving to zoning. Mike Ladd, floor is yours, sir.
Thanks, the zoning commission meeting is August 18th at 7 o'clock. Prior to that is a public hearing. It's covering the uses not covered come before the BZA, the text amendment. So that's on the agenda. That'll be at 6:30 on the 18th, and then the meeting will follow right at 7 o'clock. If they pass that, that'll come on to you guys for a public hearing as well. You'll have to set a public hearing here at the next meeting, and then we'll go forward. So looking about another 2 months yet before that gets in. Board of Zoning Appeals is, the hearing is canceled. There's no submittals for that. That's a good sign. That's where we've been looking to get to. With canceling the BZA, it means that the zoning code is starting to work. So as we're tweaking and making the changes that we need to for setbacks of sheds, pools, things like that, and there's less people trying to go for appeals or variances, which is really a good thing. If we're just using the BZA for conditional uses, that is ultimately the goal. Regional planning is August 11th, 4:30, which is today. I'll be attending that. Also, Lauren is going to come because she's the backup, and I want her to see how those meetings run in case I'm ever sick or something happens. Heritage of Brimfield Nursing Home has started construction, and they're working on grading and utilities. That's moving along really well. I don't know
Yeah,
if
it's
anybody's seen
going
that. Yeah.
But I don't think I got most utilities there.
Yeah, they had like 3 pans working when I was down there, so
Crazy.
it's moving good. Redwood Apartment Homes is, the roadway is poured. Looks like they did the utility trenching already and backfilled it all. Looks like there's some topsoil down backing up the road, so those homes are gonna start soon. Hickory Hill subdivision continues to install and grade with utilities. Hamrick Manufacturing groundbreaking was August 3rd and was well attended. Nick and I, as well as Sue and Craig, were there. It worked out pretty good. It's a great company. We're looking forward to them coming. So
Yeah, no, I'm excited for them because they're a family-run business. They have roots here, and they're really committed to helping the community. So I think they're going to be a good fit. That's what we needed to bring into the township.
absolutely. Wave Wash is still under construction at Maple Crest. The abandoned homes, I reported on this last time. They were sent out. The police posted it, hand posted it, as well as it went out certified. Our wait time is till August 24th, and then after that, we will have a contractor presented at the next trustee meeting.
So can we bid for that contractor now, or do we have to wait till the 24th?
We could do it now. We don't have to bid it either. It'll be under, it's gonna be like 12 to 15,000, I'm
Okay.
guessing.
So by our next trust board meeting, you'll have a list of a contractor selected and brought forward to the
Yes.
board? Okay.
Permit fee, right now is totaling $192,516. It's higher than that this week. This is prior to me going to Colorado, so we're closer to 200,000 right now. But that concludes my report.
Can I add one thing while you were gone?
Yeah.
Just want to give some props to Lauren. She handled the show over there
Yeah,
by
no
herself,
complaints.
and there was a
Yeah.
lot of people over there.
Oh, yeah,
while you
yeah,
were
it
gone.
happens quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so she does a great job over there.
yeah, she does.
Anything on the back burner? Any exciting news in the next?
Some stuff at Maple Crest. We're still working on that company coming in, the industrial company. That's going on. It's gonna be, it looks like they're a go from what we offered them, so.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's our primary focus right now, is we need to get a couple more industrial organizations in. That's gonna help us with our budget moving forward with the JED dollars. So our big push needs to be on some industrial pieces right now.
We're working on a TIF right now for the road going back there with that company. Mark Adetti's working on it, as well as D. Hoff's attorneys. It's gonna be similar to the TIF we have now.
So to keep the schools whole,
The school's already looked
And
at it.
we'll get our
and their
additional-
attorneys are good with the language on it. So-
are they wanting a 15-year or less, or are they wanting a larger one where we're gonna have to go to the county?
No, we're not gonna go to the from what I see.
Okay.
But that could change.
Okay.
I mean, has Hamrick broke ground yet, or, a real started?
So they
construction?
mobilized. I was there yesterday, and the construction trailer and some of the equipment mobilized already. They're gonna get
Okay.
going quick. I think there's some fire issues, they were still trying to work through. but other
So
than
will
that-
they be under roof by winter,
No, I think next spring.
next spring?
Mike, is there wall point stuff going on? I keep hearing about that, but are they doing anything back there?
So there is, Mike Wolin Engineering is looking into it. We're going back to, it's already approved. I mean, there was a developer that came in.
Nothing's going on.
Nothing's going on. So it's already approved, but the distance between homes stayed as the PRD, which is 35-foot building separation.
Is that what they are in there now?
No, they're less than that, but they do vary in between. The new developer that's coming in, he wants to come in, the same thing as like Cranberry Creek, and go with 20-foot building separations. That seems to be working with the BZA, the 20-foot they're good with. They sell, they get the right density where it's not too close, but yet they're able to move those homes quickly. So I think if they come in and they can get a variance going from 35-foot to 20-foot building separation, then
How many houses back there?
it's not much, maybe 50.
Because that original lot was not very big.
Yeah, and then, we have a developer looking behind, actually, your place, Pleasant Lakes. That's Crummel, I'm sorry, Crummel. And we're excited, hopefully he gets that and works things out, because that'd be a good thing.
Good deal. All right, thanks, Mike.
All right, I gotta make a comment.
Not on the wall, no, that'd be public.
Industrial.
Yes.
I agree. Mike,
Yeah.
industrial. No more apartments, please. Please, no more apartments. I know it comes with it, but please.
Yeah,
They don't help us, they hurt us, they kill us. So, just wanna throw that out there.
And I'd also-
My opinion only.
And just, future goals, I'd say starting in next year, I'd really think we need to reconsider the architectural board. If we're gonna preserve this town center district, let's explore that again. The architectural board, I talked to Mike Ladd about this, would allow us to set some standards on what buildings will look like in certain areas. So downtown, we could push the issue more with the proper lamp posts, the sidewalks, the building structure looks to match what we want. So I think that's something we should consider again.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I think, you know, as it's a board that's right in the Ohio Revised Code, you know, we can just pretty much follow the structure that's set up for us. I think in 2022, that's definitely a goal to get that going.
We gotta get the
And-
town
and
center
start-
going.
And start, yeah, that's
I
the
mean,
whole goal
We gotta
of that
bring
board.
stuff in to attract people.
Right. But if we do that before, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, let's have the architectural board to ensure that they don't come in and just put up whatever they want. It's got to meet the look that we want for
You've been
downtown.
down to, you've been to Macedonia? So so their Taco Bell is brick.
Right.
So Taco Bell moves out, a bank can move in, it's built to a standard
Right.
that can continue.
And that's what we need
That's
that
what you're
board
talking
for.
about,
Yeah, that's what I want, is that
That's
architectural board.
exactly what we're talking about. We would have standards where you'd have, on every new house that's coming in, you'd have brick to grade, for example. You'd have 1 and 4, I'd like to do 1 and 4, so that every house, there's nothing similar within 4 homes of it, you know? So as you're going down the street, you don't have cookie cutter houses. You've got different architectural designs, you have commercial.
Right.
What we started at Maple Crest is what I want to continue. It's either going to give them the option of stone or brick, and then have zoning resolutions to enforce that. So.
Good.
All right, anything else for zoning today? Hearing none, we'll move into road department. Dave, the floor is yours, sir.
Alrighty. On some new business, I just need the board's approval to accept the state bid for salt through the winter of 2021 to 2022. It's the same program we've been on for the last few years. The person we'll be getting the salt from this year will be Cargill instead of Morton. And right now it's at a price of $43.76 a ton.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. Any
What
discussion?
was it last year? You remember?
60.
It was,
Also,
That one's
it was like $62.75
Oh,
or
yeah,
something.
this is
So
great.
The
Okay.
price has come down quite a bit. Again, you had kind of a light winter, so some of them, and Cargo is back to fully running again. They were kind of hampered by a little water problem with one of our salt mines last year, so.
Will they start loading you up soon?
Oh, I'm good for right now.
We had to take the remainder of
Okay.
2021's contract, so we have almost a full shed right now, right?
Well, we got about 300 ton, so.
So we're good. We have an October snowstorm.
How much was it last year?
60 something.
Yeah, I'd have to go look.
60 plus?
That time, yeah.
It was like 62 something.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes,
Okay, motion passed.
All right, on my next thing, I'd like the board to accept winter excavating for the Howe Road Culvert project at a cost of $302,576.25 from the county's recommendation. They were the lowest bidder on the project, and the county, everything's good with them, so we can move forward.
And that's an OPWC
Yes,
arrangement. Brimfield Township's portion's only 120.
Okay.
Okay.
and that's the same, well, and plus it's that same thing we signed earlier, the agreement with Talmadge and everything else. We're all working together on this project.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Motion passed.
Another thing under the agenda, I brought the books to have them signed today. But I think we already signed them.
We're all good.
We're good there, so I can skip that part. Plus, these guys want to get started right away, so we'll see activity pretty quick. We're actually setting up a meeting for pre-construction with the OPWC thing with Winters and OmniPro, so everything's going to start clicking on that real quick on Howe Road.
Mike, when you do your video update, because this is your turn, why don't you hit the chip and seal project?
Yeah.
Listing again, just so people are aware of what's coming.
I got a little list here. But yeah, that's a good idea, Ned.
Yeah, because Melway, once they finish their county projects, they will be here.
Yeah, you're
We're
gonna have to
next.
give me the streets we're gonna do.
You sure you wanna put them out there? No.
Well, didn't you start? I thought Congress Lake was burned a little
No,
bit.
we're doing, well, that's the next part I'm getting.
Oh,
But,
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a good thing. It's not chip and seal, it's more.
no,
chip and
it's a
seal.
polymer seal.
Right.
It's still called chip and seal, but we use a polymer which adheses the rock better, and
I
there's
like polymer seal.
a
'cause that's what it
scientific
is.
formula, how much stone to put to how many gallons of polymer, blah, blah, blah. It's not.
Well, that's why we want to get the road list out, it's just so we're letting people know what we're doing and what roads are coming. I mean,
Well, I
that's.
can
that's a
actually,
big
I
thing.
mean, I can name them off right now if you want me to.
Go ahead,
If I remember them right. Okay, it'll be Malloy Road,
go slow. Okay,
Klein,
okay,
Congress Lake,
okay.
Selnick and Dussel, and Sherman.
Great. And our roads do look good.
And a lot of people, there's a point where we're at now on some of the paved roads, after you do so much crack sealing, it's better to do the polymer because it seals all the micro cracks. It actually keeps the roads together better, so.
What is it gonna take for Kent to fix that stretch of Malloy?
That's out of my jurisdiction. I'm not.
Or their stretch of
Trust me,
Sunnybrook over there coming into.
Can I get on that call list for
That's crazy, that.
for
We need
bad
to
phone
tell,
calls?
Bring that up at the
Jen
JED board.
meeting. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous.
I need to get on that call
That's how you
list
know when
too
you
for
switch
fake calls for
jurisdictions.
potholes where I gotta go
You know,
fix, but
I'm
I'm not
calling
on my
it.
road.
Can you do one side of it? Can you just pave one side of it, the south side of the road? Ours.
No, I mean, you guys.
Stop it right
You
now.
know, hey, Nick,
You drive on it.
dude, Ken is our jet partner. Get over there and fix it.
Yeah, where are they spending their
like
portion
the road
of their
was
jet
bombed.
money? Let's start asking that
Yeah,
question.
I'm calling him today, I'm done.
Yeah, I do want to add one thing here, and that Dave, don't get your head too big, but his project that he put in place years ago when he started of the maintenance of roads, so that we didn't lose roads, this is the second part of that. So the Congress Lake, the Sherman Road, the Malloys of the world, they don't look like they normally looked, where they were beat to hell. This is to keep those going for another 5 to 8 years after that. So his process and all of our roads are looking, but it's Dave that had this plan, and it's working out. So I just wanted to give you some credit
I
for
mean,
that.
you
So,
remember back in the day when we'd have people sitting here
Right.
complaining about their.
taking
roads?
pictures of holes that their tire fit in. You know? But yeah, that's so people understand that's, even though you might look at Klein Road and say it doesn't really need paved, well, it's getting to the point where the crack sealing, it's not worth crack sealing it anymore. It's just put that chip and seal back over it. But we're not gonna have to go into those major repairs like we had to do before, which is great. It's saving us a lot of money, which gives us more money to do other projects, so.
Well, it relieves
Thanks
us
for
of
that,
the
Dave.
dog chasing its tail acronym, right? Before we were
Right.
just chasing project after
Right.
project of,
Right.
destroyed roads. Now we're systematically fixing them and maintaining them, so you don't have to do that.
Right, which
It takes
allows
a
us
little
to
longer
do
to
more.
get to the end goal, but the end goal is we won't chase ourselves anymore.
I know, well, back in the day, I mean, we didn't have the levies or any of that stuff, so I mean, we were just scrounging to
Right.
make.
No, but I mean, the
repairs,
people
but-
that are listening to this, having
Right.
road levies in place, that's allowing us to do that.
No, I make
Doesn't
sure.
allow us to fall back into the holes of where we had to avoid certain sections of town because you couldn't drive down the road.
Oh, I
So,
know. I mean, I try to remind everybody, and you guys should remind everybody while we're doing this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's because of these levies.
Good job, Dave.
Hey, thanks, John. One day I'll get there.
You're there, Dave.
Right.
No, we're a long way from being done. There's a lot of whatever, allotment issues. I'm trying to watch my language too.
But we're working on
But
those
we're
as
getting
well.
there. We're
Right.
slowly popping each one with these major projects to keep, we want to keep the good roads good. And I hate to say the bad roads, well, they're bad until we get a chance to get to them. So we don't want to lose all of our good roads. Is what we want to do. Right now, we're working on Berman, the 2021 chip and seal project, which is a list of the roads. People are noticing that we're going through Berman about 2 foot off the roadways. What it's doing, it's helping getting the water off the road too. I mean, I know we get a few people get upset because we peel a little bit in their yard, but this is the process of keeping our roads nice. We've been working on some site issues. We've been getting some calls, tree branches, high grass, this and that. So we've been working on a lot of that, trying to keep things up. This is Tom Weese's last week. Well, actually, yesterday was his last day. He was gonna work today, but he's got too much packing for college. And I'd like to wish him well. He's done a great job for the township.
Do you guys know, which I found out yesterday when we met him, he's going to the Citadel.
Yes, he is.
That's pretty good.
He's a smart fella, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
No, I think this was a great setup, and I'd like to see us try to do this again next year, Dave, of, early in March, April, reaching out to the school to find 2 seniors.
2.
Yeah, I think we need to bring 2 in next year, hopefully. And I think it's a great way to connect with the community, but it's also get you some good workers that way.
Yeah, and Tom actually spoke with me, if he he'll be done with college in the spring. And if there's a chance he can come back and work part-time, he'd like to come back. So, I mean, and things do change, college, blah, 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 but I did let him know that I'm quite happy with him. I'd be happy to bring him back on that aspect, because he did us a great job. He worked hard.
And he's already trained, so that would
He-
hit the ground running.
I had him out working on some nasty things with me, and he didn't bat an eye. He went right with me, so. And then on that aspect, right now, the road department is we're starting to look into hiring another full-time employee. That
Look
way
into
we
nothing.
can
We're
move.
gonna hire a new employee.
Huh?
Look into nothing. We need to hire another employee.
Well, I just want to put it out there. I haven't, how do you say it, kicked into gear on that yet. I'm still trying to catch up on this other stuff, but right now, I mean, it's hard to come across with a part-time anymore. Everybody either wants full-time or nothing. It's just.
And tell them, in the summer, when people are on vacation, you don't even have a full workforce.
Right.
When you need to get everything done, some days you only have, 2 or 3 guys there?
3 guys. Well, you figure there's 5 of us, and normally I'm running around with like my head cut off. And the guys were trying to do things, but to be safe on roadways and stuff, we need almost at least have 4 guys at all times, so.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of roads you're getting, we have no choice, Dave.
Well, and that's, like Mike was mentioning, all these new things coming in, we're gaining roads left and right. We're gonna have way amount, especially Cranberry Creek kicks in probably this year. We did take over Maple Crest up to a point, but with Hambrick coming in, we're probably gonna end up with the second phase of that, back through Interstate, I think it's called now. So we're starting to get a bunch more roads.
I mean, I've been really pushing them on this.
Yeah, no, I agree. I honestly, Dave, I support it. We need to get you another full-time, and next year, I really believe we need the 2 part-timers in the summertime. Worst case, we give them a weed whacker and a mower and say, go take care of all the park stuff.
Well, and that's, and like Mike, we were talking too, a part-timer like that, you turn them loose, Cassie needs a hand, where I don't have time to, clean things up. We bounce them around between us, so.
So you guys did a great job around here. Looks good.
Hopefully they're happier.
It looks 100% better, Dave.
But, after all that, that concludes my report.
All right, the only thing I have, Dave, I'll send this down to you. This just came in the mail yesterday to me. It's the 2020 Annual Bridge Inspection Report sent to my house, so I will officially turn that over to you for whatever you might need with it.
They're in the filing cabinet.
Anything else for road department? All right.
But Dave, I encourage you to move quicker and do higher.
I'm trying, I got a lot of things going on.
I know you do.
All right, we'll move into Parks and Rec. Craig, you have that? Okay.
You're good with that?
Yep.
All right, let me go down through this and I'll need your input because I just will, and you'll understand why. Cassie's report, Pet Safe Dog Park Grant finalist. I know there was voting between August 3rd and the 31st. That is the vote for Brimfield Township to receive the grant. I think we were all copied on how to do that, to go online.
And I think you can vote every day.
Yeah,
So
and
keep getting
vote
on every
multiple
day.
times if you want to. That would help us. I believe it was $5,000.
Yeah.
But what she told me, it's broken up into 2 groups. There's awarding for 3 for the new park, and then 3 for the existing parks. So it's a double grant.
Okay.
Again, I don't have that information in front of me, but Mike might be good in your post too.
Okay.
Yeah, because residents can vote every day. That's because this is a national grant, so we just need to I ask everybody on the board to just take 2 minutes every day and just click
It's
on
like
the
what,
link.
www.
It's on our Facebook page. I
Yeah,
can
I
look
got
it up. But yeah, all you do is put your email address in and click send, and that's your vote. So.
Brookfield Community Days, I believe Cassie and Aaron are seeking sponsorships from businesses and organizations. I think that's just an update that they're gonna be going out.
Yeah, they went out, I just meant to ask them, if they had any.
No, I talked to her yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, and they had some success with that. They got a couple organizations to donate some goods and financial donations.
That's good.
So,
So it's good because we have it covered, but every time we get a donation, that reduces our cost.
But it's good in two ways, because at least they get out into the business community, can introduce themselves, and, you know, she's really stressing she'd like to get a Friends of the Park.
right.
And, you know, which would help us defray some of our costs and, you know, get people that are passionate about the parks.
Next, we'd be requesting board approval for the inflatable rental from Barker Family Entertainment for the Brimfield Community Days. That is not to exceed $4,700. Before we vote on that, as John said, as she gets sponsorships, that will reduce those costs on those kind of things. I think that provided, if I remember right, 4 large inflatables with workers provided by them to work the inflatables, so we don't have to stand there and try to manage all that.
So was this?
That will be in lieu of our rides at Brimfield, will be the inflatables instead.
Now, I mean, what happens in the event that we have a washout or the COVID increases?
I don't know that. We'll have to ask her that.
Okay.
What, Craig, I'm confused on this now. Was this included in the $10,000 total that she had? I thought it was.
I think it was too.
I don't know, John.
Yeah,
I believe
I
it.
know she said she spoke to you about it.
Yeah, and I knew the bounce house, I don't think we need to make another resolution for anything.
So
Yeah, I don't
let's
think we
table
got
that
that
for a
first.
second.
What's
Table
that?
that for a second till I get down to the other piece
Okay.
then. So let's jump down to that one first. So the budget was 10,000 from what I'm seeing here, and the projected cost was now 15,500.
No, that's a
something
different thing. That's the Lions Park Loop Trail.
They're bringing back the exercise trails.
So yeah, don't go to that yet. That's different.
Craig,
We'll get it right here.
we can, this
So,
is
no,
already
I
done.
talked to Cassie on
So then
this.
I don't know that, John. What you're
No,
talking about.
so I talked to Cassie on this. This is, the inflatables is included in 10,000, but I think it's because it's over that amount. She wasn't sure if she needed a.
But I thought we already approved the $10,000.
We approved the 10,000,
So
but
then
you're
no.
over that money mark, so I think she was just confused.
Well,
Do
I don't,
need?
I
This is over
don't now,
2,500.
specifically because I have it's under the 10,000. You already approved what I'm spending,
Okay,
so.
so then you can just scratch that. We don't
Yeah.
have to vote on
We
it.
don't need that. We just need to get a purchase order, Craig, from you, so that she can get their.
For Barker Family
Right,
Entertainment.
yeah,
Yes.
and then send that over, and then we're good.
All right, we'll get back on track. Okay. Brimfield Parks Advisory Committee, next meeting is Thursday, 8/19 at 6:30 PM. It looks like we're also accepting applications through 9/13 for 5 available seats. Didn't we just establish that?
We did. We need to talk to her about that, because I would like to see, the idea was to have a 25% rotation.
Right, like we do on all the other boards.
Yeah, because you never want to get rid of 100% of your board. You want to retain 75% with 25%
So they need
turnover.
to have different terms.
Yeah, and every 4 years, you basically revamp the board.
So let's I'll follow up on that.
Okay.
New business, going down to what I made a mistake on, so the loop trail at Lions Park, the budget was $10,000, the project has increased to 15,500.
Well, the 10,000, I think, was for the grindings. So if she would increase it to 15, she could actually have it paved. Because Cardinal's gonna be down there working on the shelters, and so they're gonna do it together. The thing is, I know Dave, you've been hitting it with weed killer, part of it or something?
We haven't,
So
weather hasn't been cooperating.
And I think there's 7 inches of grindings already down in there. So for them to put an overlay would be a smart thing to do. And then, I mean, back when Nick, you were probably still in your teens. We actually had people that would go down there and walk on it.
Right.
We had runners on it. It was just a very.
So Mike, where does that trail loop?
So it's around the soccer field.
Just the loop that's existing?
Yeah, it used to be around the ball fields. And, you know, when parents were there with their kids for baseball, they would all walk it. Then you had a group of walkers that would go down and walk it.
So do we know what that is? Is it a quarter mile?
A quarter mile.
It is a quarter mile?
Yep.
Yeah. And I've talked to some
and it'll-
families about it, and they're excited to see that, be able to come back.
Right, and it'll actually, if, you know, for people walking our trails, it just adds a quarter mile to our trails, because it is hooked into our trails.
Right.
And
I have a question.
Mhm.
On this asphalt that's gonna be put down, and it's gonna be a trail. How wide is that? Like, I know it's gonna be a walking trail, I got that.
Well, I know it's wide enough for two people to walk comfortably.
2 wheelchairs, actually.
Okay,
And-
because
and
that's
Sue-
what I was,
Sue, it's that
I
old-
was looking at,
It was
handicap.
that old one we had back
The
then.
handicap accessibility and all
Yeah,
that.
remember they stopped using it because a certain road superintendent stopped taking care of it.
We just didn't want it big enough for people to drive on. So,
Okay.
and I believe it's 6 foot from a Dave's wide.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be able to, we use the 2 wheelchairs to pass side by side,
Okay.
so.
It's a great idea. I'd love to see that thing back. And that gives people one more reason to go down to the parks.
Well, and one of the other reasons we talked about the increased price, I mean, we're not competing against Atwater and Deerfield, we're competing against Kent and Talmadge.
Right.
Kent and Talmadge don't have any asphalt walkways, they all have paved walkways, and we just need to pay that extra money to get it paved. I mean, that's how we
Glad you
have to
came
do
up
it.
with that. That's a good idea.
Well, it was
It
your
is, because I
idea.
mean, it's, the biggest problem we had was all the maintenance on that trail.
Right,
I mean, the weeds just take it over.
right, it took like a summer and the whole thing was overgrown.
It's still there.
I know, it's down there, you just get a shovel and dig in there, you'll find it, but.
It's sort of like those Mayan temples that are lost in the jungle. It's there.
All right, well, I'd like to make a recommendation to do the asphalt paving of the Lions Park Loop Trail at a cost not to exceed $16,000.
I will second that.
Yeah, just one thing, that was in her budget too, we worked it all out, so she's within her estimated budget that we gave her for the year, so.
Okay, that's great.
That's a good thing. All right, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes,
Sue?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
Okay, upcoming programs, concert in the park, we'll have next will be Twisted Whiskers at Lions Park from 6 to 7:30 on 8/12. Looks like there will also be a Brooks Home-style barbecue food truck at this event.
Now, this is Steve Shanafelt.
Yeah.
A lot of people are familiar with Steve.
Steve's out of Suffield
Right.
area.
But, he's always been very helpful on the music scene and with stuff. So I would encourage people to come. It'd be a great show.
Yep.
And encourage them to eat something, because next year if we do this, I'd love to have a food truck there every.
yeah, so Brooks is a newer food truck in the area. They offered to come down, they're just trying to get their name out there, so I think it's a good opportunity to support a local company
That's
and
great.
listen to some music.
Wasn't Steve's band something else before?
Well,
Slippery.
Dan Smith was with them. They were called the Flip Flops.
Flip Flops, that's
And
right.
then when Dan passed, they stopped. There's two of the original, the band with Dan was three. Two of the original guys were with him. They picked up two other guys. They're really good. I went and did that interview with them one Sunday.
What do they play? What's their 70s, 80s music?
They play fun music. They're good. They're fun. I mean,
Jimmy Buffett music.
yeah, they're good. I mean, when Dan was in it.
Yeah, I
it was
remember
always-
watching them then.
It was a hoot.
I haven't seen their new band yet. though.
They're good guys. And also, I had some, just so you know, I had a few issues with booking a guy from Cleveland. I'm
Right.
never working with Cleveland musicians again. We were able to talk Steve into playing at the Brimfest 2.0.
Okay,
It's nice to have local people, because local people attract local people.
right.
So,
As I look at that, just being said, that's tomorrow night.
Yes,
So
it is
it's
tomorrow
tomorrow.
I'm
night,
gonna
yeah.
say that,
So-
it's 8/12 is tomorrow night.
Yeah,
let's hope the weather holds out.
Right.
yep.
And then Cassie will have a lunch and learn program on monarch butterflies, 12 to 1:30 at Lions Park on 8/31. That will be her next program.
It's good.
I think she's asking for us to set the trick or treat date for 2021. Date and time, her recommendation would be Saturday, 10/31.
That was last year's date.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because it's on Sunday.
So this year, that's the question, is do we want to do it actually on Halloween, which is a Sunday night, or would we rather do it on Saturday night?
I'd rather stick with Saturday night.
Well, Sunday night, if it's 5 to 7, the younger kids aren't gonna be able to get ready for school.
That was my concern, is just as a parent,
Yeah.
Sunday nights are rough, right? Because you got school the next morning and the kids are all hyped up on sugar by the time they go to bed, and Monday is a
So
disaster.
there you have it. Are you making a motion?
So,
What are you saying? Which day?
So doing it on Saturday, the 30th, instead of Sunday, the 31st, so the day before Halloween.
Okay, just
Well,
throw it out
Tim-
there. Everybody loved it on Halloween. right on Halloween.
Well, and that's why I'm torn about it, right?
I
It was
know.
cool to have it
Sunday
on
night.
Halloween.
I think they'll be,
I don't care what you do. I'm
But
just
I will
saying,
tell you-
the residents said before, we like having Halloween on Halloween.
And I will say, at least the development that I live in will do it on the 31st no matter what, because that's their rule.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Check
they're
your
always doing it on
development, they'll
Halloween.
do it on Halloween. So they'll all be doing it on, they don't care what we say. They'll be doing it on Halloween. Okay.
well, I don't know.
Well, I was thinking if we do it on Saturday, then Halloween's on Sunday, and then those people can have their own private Halloween parties, or their church parties, or truth or trunk, or whatever, and feel free to go with all their families.
It's just nice to
Instead of-
catch everybody at the same time though.
Yeah,
Because the fire
yeah.
department comes out, the police department's coming out, tossing candy.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, wanna do it on Sunday?
Don't let me sway you, I'm just throwing it out there, what we've heard before.
I seriously think Saturday night's a fun night where people are out, and
Well,
Sunday. you're
Saturday
gonna
night,
lose
you
some-
can stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night.
But Sunday, you're rushing kids home, the little ones aren't even out, and even though it is Halloween, they're getting ready for school. Saturday, they can stay out as late as they want.
Yeah, but are you gonna get double hit in the township, people coming in on Saturday and residents get hit again on Sunday?
Well, they know what allotments to go through. I mean,
Well,
if
but
like,
you always get that double whammy. Like, you say allotments wanna do it on Halloween day, but you set the date for the 30th, then you always get that double whammy of people coming in from, say it, Kent, Talmadge, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom.
Half
you know.
of Akron comes.
but they
to
have
my
all
house.
the porch lights, so. if
I
they
have
did
three-
something
I
with
have
Pleasant Lakes,
300
they have the
kids.
porch lights all out.
Every year, at least.
Well, that's just where you get in trouble, you get that double whammy going.
Well, do we want to put a vote out there for somebody? On it, we have time, it's August.
Do it, I don't know how we can get
Like a
feedback.
Facebook vote?
It'll be a,
You could dress up in a costume and do a video.
Because you're right, most of the allotments aren't gonna care.
They're gonna do what they
Yeah.
want, and if we set it on the same night as it already is, then everybody's.
I imagine
happy.
most of the allotments are probably gonna have it on Saturday, because the parents.
well, I know Whispering Woods won't. They've always said they don't care what township does, it's on Halloween.
Okay.
That's just their stance. I'm not saying that. I don't, Chick, what does Chapman do? It's always Halloween, no matter what day of the week it is.
Well, let's do it on
Trying to
Halloween.
do it Saturday night, mine, everybody sits out in their driveway with fires and all that stuff, so.
Well, I know that's what I like to do too, but my development, they're just gonna do it on
You
that
can do
day.
yours on Saturday.
You and I will just do it.
If we do Halloween on Halloween, and like Dave said, the
I didn't know
police
if we
and the
were
fire
gonna
don't
vote
have
for
a
people to
double
vote on,
whammy,
or
because
you're
they'll
just
be
gonna
out.
pick it?
Sad, people do it on Saturday.
Couldn't we let the people vote?
We could do a poll.
I don't know how to do a poll.
Oh, let's just do it on Sunday and be done with
We
it.
could have them call.
Halloween.
I do it on Saturday.
Did not.
Get out of here.
When's Rootstown doing it?
I'm not sure.
We just wanna get ahead of the curve, because people always complain that they wanna know when it is. It's that time of the year where they're gonna start asking, so.
Well, our allotments are
If we
pretty
wait
good
2
size.
weeks and have Craig find out when they're doing their, I don't know,
Yeah, we don't have to set it today.
my kids don't even go out, they're too old anymore. So I'd do whatever you guys think.
I mean, honestly, the more we talk about it, I think Halloween's probably gonna be the best bet, because that's when the majority of your housing developments are gonna do it. I mean, that's what
So
we're hearing
you
from
and Sue are on
Chapman.
the same page, so.
I mean, that's what we're hearing from Chapman. I know that's what, where I live is gonna
Let's
do.
do Halloween on Halloween.
Halloween on Halloween?
Yeah, let's
You
do
guys
that
are?
then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll do Halloween on Halloween.
All right, so I'll make a motion. We're gonna set trick or treat for Sunday, October 31st, from 5 to 7.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes,
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
there it is. It's out there.
Okay.
Let the
and,
complaining begin.
No, that's good, because you'll cover all the allotments.
Yeah.
Hints, if they do their thing, they do it on Saturday night, because that was a
Yeah.
conflict, oh, I can't take them anywhere else.
Right.
Because the city's doing them on a Saturday. I think you'll be good. Probably not. Yeah.
My kids
Mike
can't
can
sleep.
feel
I'm
the-
dropping them at your house though.
She's just
It's
causing
5 to
problems.
7, no, they'll be all right. That's all I have for Cassie's report.
All right. Under cemetery, we just had one deed to sign. I believe everyone was able to sign that.
Yeah.
Fiscal office, I don't see any
Nothing.
business. And executive sessions, there's none today. So we'll
Just for an FYI on the cemeteries, Kevin from the Portage thing is working on the stones for us.
okay.
So, That'd be
coming
good.
together. And you're gonna do a video soon, right? So, with Mike?
Mike and I are gonna put something together here.
John, for fiscal, do we get our draws for the second half?
Yeah, we've been getting draws. I don't know if we got our final one yet, though. Oh, yeah, and we got, usually the third draw is the biggest one that we get. And then we already got that. I don't know if we got the last one in yet. There's usually 4 or 5. There would be a final draw. I don't know, but we're past the issue of worrying about cash. So.
Can I come over and get a financial update from person, like we used to?
We're past this.
Oh, the appropriation sheet?
Yeah. Person.
Yeah, she can just print them off.
For the good of the order, I would like to also just pose the idea. We started these 1, 3, and 5-year goals, but instead of doing them in January, I think we should have a goal-setting meeting in October. So by November, we can finalize them, and in January, they can start doing that. Todd said he'd be willing to help lead that so we can keep that on our 2050 land use plan website. What's thoughts from the board about that?
Fine.
Everybody go with that? So that way, department heads are ready to start thinking in October what your January goals are, and we want to dig a little deeper this year to set some more goals. All right? Anything else?
Will you give me information on that committee I got appointed to?
Yes, I will find that email and send it over to you.
You guys are bad.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Second.
oh,
No, go ahead, just a
I'll
second.
second it.
Okay, all those in favor? Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
We are out at 9:40 a.m.
All right, thank you so much.